You're watching KCCI 8 News.
Next at 10, therapy horse gone. Why this Jasper County family is so desperate to get it back.
Restrictive eating. Olympian Shawn Johnson's strong message about body image and her struggles with food.
16 shots. Protesters take to the streets of Chicago. The dashcam video just released tonight that's causing so much anger.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'll have some thoughts that I want to share with you coming up at the end of this, my last newscast. But first, let's get to the news.
Brandon Ellingson didn't have a chance from the moment he got onto that boat.
A KCCI exclusive, a sergeant with the Missouri Highway Patrol says the agency's negligence killed Brandon Ellingson. Back in May of 2014, the 20-year-old Clive native was in handcuffs in police custody when he went overboard on a patrol boat and drowned. Ellingson's family members are still searching for justice.
And our Ryan Smith is just back from the Lake of the Ozarks tonight with Sergeant Randy Henry's emotional admission, right?
Yeah, that's right, guys. Sergeant Randy Henry did not hold back during our one-on-one interview this week. The former Water Patrol supervisor tells me the Highway Patrol is at fault, but the agency has been trying to silence his story.
I just feel so bad for the family. First, that we killed their son.
Brandon Ellingson's death on Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks was ruled an accidental drowning. But nearly a year and a half later, a former Water Patrol supervisor is speaking out.
As soon as Brandon Ellingson got on to Tony Piercy's boat, I believe it was a death march.
Sergeant Randy Henry of the Missouri Highway Patrol was working that night and interviewed Trooper Anthony Piercy immediately after the accident.
This happened on our watch. It shouldn't have happened. It's totally preventable. And then it was covered up.
May 2014, Trooper Piercy arrests Ellingson for boating while intoxicated. Those critical moments after on the Highway Patrol boat have been criticized by Ellingson's family and spurred legislative hearings. Trooper Piercy admits he placed the wrong life jacket on Ellingson, who was handcuffed when he went overboard.
He was totally defenseless in that boat.
Sergeant Henry says the Highway Patrol hid key evidence during a coroner's inquest that ultimately cleared Piercy of facing criminal charges.
The video reenactment of the boat speed was not shown. Critical witnesses, including myself, were not called in to testify. I was told the reason why I wasn't going to be there because I would muddy the waters.
We traveled to the Ozarks. In an exclusive interview this week, Sergeant Henry tells KCCI Piercy should be held accountable for negligence on the water. Should someone have faced criminal charges for what happened on the lake that day?
Yes, I believe so.
What charges?
Manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter.
KCCI has repeatedly asked for comment from both Trooper Piercy and the Highway Patrol, but no one's talking. Henry officially retires next month. Now, the officer, who spent 3 decades loyal to the badge, says he is partly to blame for Ellingson's drowning.
I was part of the system. I signed off on Tony Piercy to work the water.
And you regret that now?
Yes, I regret it 100%. It's something I may have to live with the rest of my life.
I also spoke to Brandon's father, Craig, tonight about Sergeant Henry's actions as a whistleblower. He hopes Sergeant Henry's account of what happened will help spur action.
I'm just glad there's people in the patrol that are willing to step forward and do the right thing. By him stepping forward and telling the truth, it should renew the interest, and hopefully we'll get some resolve out of this.
Ellingson says the family's pursuit of charges in federal court is moving forward. Representatives of the Missouri Highway Patrol are slated to be in Iowa next month for depositions. In the studio tonight, Ryan Smith, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Thank you, Ryan. Also charges tonight against the driver who was involved in a deadly Des Moines car crash on Monday. Police arrested 24-year-old Troy Muir Jr. today, just after he was released from the hospital. 22-year-old Scalicity Perez, was the mother of 4, was killed in the crash. Officials say Muir was drunk when the car crashed into a utility pole in the 600 block of 35th. Perez was a passenger in the car. Perez's family is telling KCCI tonight she and Muir were dating, and Perez had just broken up with Muir the day before. Muir is at the Polk County Jail tonight, charged with vehicular homicide, reckless driving, vehicular homicide, and operating while intoxicated, and OWI.
New at 10, a Colfax family is desperate to get its therapy horse back. KCCI's Laura Terrell explains why they suspect the animal was stolen right from their yard.
As the mother of 9 adopted children and 3 foster children, Denise Carroll's home is often chaotic. But one thing the family can always count on to keep them calm is horses.
Well, this area right here is where they're normally in.
Carroll uses therapy horses to help her foster children with special needs.
To be able to have an animal that they can trust, have a trust with and some control over and bond with is so good for them.
But the family's newest horse, Buddy, recently disappeared overnight.
We drove around and looked for 2 hours and we couldn't find him anywhere. I hate to think that somebody would actually steal him, but he's an amazing horse.
Buddy, seen here in these photos, was donated to the family by a woman in Arkansas and is a specially trained therapy horse.
One of our kids that helps so much with his anxiety, we want him home. He's so beneficial for kids in our home.
The Carrolls say a horse like Buddy would normally go for $5,000 or $6,000, something the family would never be able to afford on its own.
The Jasper County Sheriff's Office even posted a picture of Buddy on its Facebook page, which has now been shared more than 400 times.
We have prayers and we have so many people praying for us to bring him home to us.
Laura Terrell, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Now, Buddy was last seen at his farm between Newton and Colfax, south of Interstate 80. If you have any information about this case or Buddy's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. That number is on your screen. It's 641-792-5912.
Right now, outrage in Chicago after the police department there releases a video showing one of its own officers shooting a teenager at least 16 times. Steve Carlin is here with the latest on that. Steve?
Well, Kevin, protesters hit the streets immediately after that video was released. Here's a live picture from the streets of Chicago tonight, where several hundred demonstrators are staged near the city's west side. The squad car video shows 17-year-old Laquan McDonald walking down the street with an object in his hand. Prosecutors say Officer Jason Van Dyke started shooting 6 seconds after he got out of his vehicle. The video shows Van Dyke continued to shoot McDonald while the suspect was on the ground. Prosecutors say the officer fired 16 shots in just 15 seconds. Police are working hard tonight to keep the protests peaceful.
People have a right to be angry. People have a right to protest. People have a right to free speech, but they do not have a right to commit criminal acts.
Van Dyke, a 14-year veteran, has now been charged with first-degree murder. Investigators say McDonald did have a knife. An autopsy shows the teenager also had the drug PCP in his system. A judge has refused to set bond. Kevin?
Thank you, Steve. Also right now, the news we really didn't want to hear. A Thanksgiving winter storm watch is in effect for the western part of the state.
Curtis in now with the details.
Yeah, it's a pretty potent storm, especially off to the west, spinning right now in Oregon and California. All these areas in pink, winter storm warnings up and through Montana and Wyoming. What does it mean for us? It looks like a winter storm watch in western Iowa, Pottawatomie County included in that, also up and through Shelby County. These areas in purple, a winter weather advisory. Not expecting a lot of snow with this. Matter of fact, there'll be a band of maybe 1 inch to 2 inches of snow in northwestern Iowa. I think the main threat, especially in west central and southwestern Iowa, would be some freezing rain and sleet. Your holiday planner, mild temperatures tomorrow, 53 degrees, fog and drizzle. It looks like heavy rain for us on Thanksgiving Day, an icy mix to the west. We'll have to see if it'll progress in here as we slide in through Thursday night, 45 degrees, mostly cloudy, turning colder Friday, 36. I just want to highlight the amount of rain we're looking at for the metro on Thursday, anywhere from 1 inch to maybe as much as 1.60 inches. Futurecast, we'll break things down hour by hour. That's coming your way in just a few minutes.
In Commitment 2016 news tonight, a new Quinnipiac University poll shows a new GOP candidate closing in on Donald Trump. Senator Ted Cruz is now polling in the double digits among likely Iowa GOP caucus goers. Ben Carson slips to third now with 18%. Senator Marco Rubio with 13%. Rand Paul, Jeb Bush, and Carly Fiorina are all in the single digits. No other candidate tops 2%.
Well, next at 10, dangerous practice, the revelation from Iowa's Olympic gold medalist, Shawn Johnson.
Holiday tradition, when you can see the lights to get you into the holiday spirit, and who benefits from every vehicle that drives through.
And campaigning for shoppers, what Main Street has to say about what it can offer that the big box stores cannot.
This is Iowa's news leader. This is KCCI 8 News at 10. With Kevin Cooney, Stacey Horst, Chief Meteorologist John McLaughlin, and Iowa's Sportscaster of the Year, Andy Garman.
Men and women of all shapes and sizes have this.
Nutrition experts are applauding Olympic gold medal winner Shawn Johnson tonight. The retired gymnast is revealing a major struggle with food and diet during her Olympic training.
KCCI's Todd Magel joins us now with more on her interview with People magazine.
Kevin and Stacey, Shawn Johnson says she was so worried about her weight, she would often restrict her diet to just 700 calories a day.
I've been a part of the sport for so long. I'm honestly ready to move on.
It's been 3 years since Shawn Johnson announced her retirement from gymnastics, and now she's revealing her undiagnosed eating disorder in People magazine. She says, quote, "I was always the very strong, powerful, muscly, bulky gymnast, and I felt like people always wanted me to be thinner and lighter and leaner." She goes on to say, as a 12-year-old, the only way I really understood how to achieve that was to eat less and restrict myself. I remember kind of obsessing over it.
I think it's a lot more common than what you think that it is.
West Des Moines nutritionist Jennifer DeWall deals with many Iowa athletes who tell a similar story. Johnson says she got to the point where she ate so little, just 700 calories a day, her body began to shut down. DeWall appreciates Johnson's courage to open up about it.
This type of thing is very emotional and it's very psychological, and I think she's in a good place in her life now, and so she was able to talk about it, and I do sure hope that it helps people.
Shawn Johnson says winning the gold medal helped her feel better about herself, and after the Olympics she began to eat well and gained 20 pounds.
I don't think I can regret anything because things happen for a reason.
Now, an estimated 24 million Americans suffer from eating disorders, and experts say the first step to getting help is, of course, to ask your doctor or a nutritionist. Todd Magel, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Take a look at this. It's a sure sign the holiday season is here. Jolly Holiday Lights open for its 20th season tonight. It's now open every night from 5:30 to 10 o'clock until January 1st. Tickets, by the way, are $10 per car, and 100% of the proceeds goes towards Make-A-Wish Iowa.
Wonder if Curtis Gertz has a good forecast for getting out and enjoying Jolly Holiday Lights.
Isn't it? If you like the snow, no. Because we've been melting it down all night long. We're still in the 40s, and we will stay above freezing right through the morning hour. Areas of fog, 6 a.m., 40 degrees. Patchy drizzle, 9 a.m., 42. Now we'll start to warm up again. Noontime temperature, 50 degrees. Typically this time of year, we should be around 43, 42. We'll cruise up into those 50s, even 6 p.m. tomorrow, 52. Just a few clouds drifting in the northwestern now. The low clouds are starting to move in. We'll see some fog tonight. There's a system out to the west. Some clouds with that out in the Dakotas. A whole lot of snow right now as you head into Montana. First piece of energy moves northeast. Then here comes the front. We'll be on the warm side of this tomorrow. Area of low pressure will ride along the front and may interact with some colder air, and that could cause some icy problems out in western Iowa. But tomorrow, cloud cover, patchy drizzle, light rain later in the day, but the widespread, and I mean heavy rain for November, moves in on Thanksgiving Day. Notice northwestern Iowa wintry mix. 1 p.m. we're still in the rain. Here's that wintry mix. It gets closer, and we'll see a light mix here, but I think the increased travel problems will be over towards the Missouri River. Rainfall tremendous with this system, well over an inch from Ottumwa through the metro Waterloo, Lamoni, maybe 2 inches of rain. Winter storm watch to the west, and the main impact would be freezing rain and sleet. Shelby County included in this, and down south in Page County also included Lincoln, Nebraska. Big game there on Friday. We'll have to see if things improve by Friday morning. Tonight, 40 degrees, more melting, areas of fog. Southeast winds 5 to 15 tomorrow, all the way up into the 50s. Another above normal November day, fog and drizzle. South winds 10 to 20. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, 45 degrees. Again, a chance here by Thursday night of an icy mix. Could get a bit slippery out there, but better chances for that icing out to the west. As always, we'll keep you updated as we get closer. Friday in the 30s, Saturday in the 30s, another system Sunday night and Monday, and more 30s next week.
Thank you, Curtis. Things getting even more tense in Chicago at this hour. We're continuing to follow the breaking news there, where hundreds of protesters have gathered outside the main Chicago Police Department building. Demonstrations started after police released dash cam video from a 2014 incident showing a white police officer shooting a black teenager 16 times. That officer has been charged with first-degree murder. We'll monitor the situation, and we'll be right back.
A busy holiday shopping weekend ahead. Saturday, it's all about supporting your local community.
More Iowans are turning to Small Business Saturday as their day for holiday shopping. Researchers up at Iowa State tell us that 5% more people will shop local this year. Ames business owners are some of the many across the nation that will participate this coming weekend.
We are, members of this community just like the customers are, and by supporting local businesses, you're supporting the people you love, the people that are your friends, that are your neighbors.
In Ames, they tell us they'll be handing out 500 swag bags to the first 500 shoppers on Saturday with lots of goodies inside.
Sports Director Andy Garman joins us now, and the good news keeps on rolling in for the Hawkeyes.
You know, they've had an incredible year. It just keeps going. As long as they keep winning, Iowa keeps moving up in the college football rankings. We'll hear from Kirk Ferentz and company next. 11-0 is already a school record for the Iowa Hawkeye football program, but now the Hawks have reached the loftiest level yet when it comes to the college football playoff rankings. Announced this afternoon, the Iowa Hawkeyes are up to number 4, which meant if the season ended today, Iowa would make the national semifinals and face top seed Clemson. Now, of course, there's still 2 games, 2 weeks worth of football to go. Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, Iowa, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Baylor, Ohio State, Stanford, and Michigan, your top 10. The schedule for the playoffs, number 1 against number 4 in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Eve, number 2 against number 3 in the Cotton Bowl. The winners of those 2 games play for the national championship. Don't try to talk to Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes about it. They don't want to hear it. 1 game at a time is the mantra. It's a cliche, of course, but there's a whole lot of truth in it. That's how Iowa has gotten to 11-0. To get to 12-0, they'll have to beat the Huskers in Lincoln.
You know, they've been pretty close games, and however you want to define a rivalry, I mean, it is a trophy game, so it's a big game for us. But it's the next game on our schedule, so it's a big one.
Our job is to be able to play with those guys, go out and compete with them. They recruit well. They've had great teams in the past, and they've got a really good football team this year. So it's our challenge is to be ready for them on Friday.
Kick time on Friday is 2:30 in the afternoon. The game is live on ABC. And just another log to the fire, the Hawkeyes are on the regional cover for Sports Illustrated this week at 11-0 and a headline, Iowa Raucous. We'll see if the jinx has any legs. Iowa's best defensive player is now one of the best in the country, at least a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. That'd be Desmond King, cornerback extraordinaire, had a fantastic year, leads the country in interceptions, and today he was named one of 3 finalists for the award given to the best defensive back in the nation. College basketball, Cale Abrahamson certainly enjoyed his trip to Florida, had 41 last night in the first game of a Florida Gulf Coast Challenge. What would he do for an encore? Slightly less. Finished with 15. Weber State beats the Bulldogs 74-59. Drake will play Pepperdine to wrap up the challenge tomorrow. Women's college basketball, the Drake women win big, 81-72 over Creighton today. And finally, Kevin, for you, a couple of White Sox transactions. White Sox acquired Tommy Conley from Colorado for minor league pitcher, and also designated right-handed pitcher Kevin Cooney for retirement. I really thought they were going to give you one more shot, but I think they looked at the tape, said, nah,
The 30-year disabled list. Calling it, a sport.
There you go.
Thanks, Andy.
Wake up weather and a whole lot more right after the break.
Here is today's market report.
Well, welcome back to this very special edition of KCCI 8 News at 10. In just a couple of moments, Kevin will be signing off for the very last time, but we had a couple more things we wanted to say before we let you
I've been dreading this moment for a long time.
You have no idea. Over the course of the years, a lot of people have asked me what it's like to work with and sit next to you. And I have to say, I tell them every time, I have the best seat in the house. And I have for over 10 years now. I have enjoyed every minute of working with you, learning from you. I cherish our friendship, and I know it will continue well beyond our days here at KCCI. I'm very thankful for that. I also want to say, you know, you have brought the world home to Iowans every night. And you've done it with a grace and a dignity and in a way that made us know, no matter what was going on in the world, we were going to be okay. And that's special. Very few people make that happen.
Well, thank
and
you.
you do. And it's wonderful. And we've been so lucky to have you in our lives and in
lucky
our
to be here.
homes all these many years. And you're the best. And thank you, and we love you, and we are so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I work with the best, too. I want you to know. Now, well, the first line on the teleprompter is, some of you may have heard this is my last newscast. And if you're wondering why you haven't heard anything about it tonight until now, it's because I asked our producer, Julia Manning, and I thank her for her understanding. I just asked for a moment or two at the end of the news to say thank you. So here it is. Thank you. Thanks to the many people who work here at KCCI. If there's a camera that could get a picture, Amy, a lot of them are here tonight. People here that you don't see on TV, but they are crucial to everything we do in front of the cameras. And so thank you to my fellow employees, past and present, for all that you do to support these newscasts. And while we're at it, a business thank you of sorts to the managers of KCCI and its parent company, Hearst. It's my last day, so it's not like I'm trying to suck up to anybody or anything like that. But these people do support the news, not just as a business, but as a principle. And thanks to the characters who are at this desk, too. Andy Garman, who the people who gathered around here and don't usually see newscasts know that his script is about 10 words. He is a sports savant. Everything that you heard tonight was ad-libbed, but it's all up here. Speaking of brilliant minds, Curtis Gertz, who is every bit as happy on camera and off camera. And of course, our good friend John McLaughlin. You are with us every night too, John. We want you to get well and get back. Now, Steve Carlin has been anchoring newscasts here for more than 20 years, and he is going to do a great job sitting in this chair doing the evening broadcasts in the future. There you go, my friend. And of course, Stacy, who knows me very well, finishes my sentences, saves my miscues without missing a beat, and the people at home never know it. And that's why you are great, you are a professional, and you're number one. So thank you also to the people who watch this program, to our viewers. You're the reason that we're here. Without your support and solid reporting and information, we simply wouldn't be here. So thank you for that. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Molly and Marshall and Meredith and Liz and Hillary and Alex, my dad and brothers and sisters and everybody here. I want to thank you especially, Ev, for understanding the craziness that goes along with this business. And it's a business that we all love. So with that, I'm done. But the beast that continues, that news beast, continues tomorrow morning, bright and early with KCCI 8 News this morning, and tomorrow night, and every day, and oh yes, on the news at noon.
Thank you.
And every day after that. I'll be watching from home. I hope you will be too. So good night, good news, and goodbye.